Welcome to the shortwave radio channel, and I wanted to talk about some of the radios I've had over time. So this obviously is not at all one of my pictures. It's something I took from the internet to show kind of what is probably the first ever multiband radio that I had. Now, this is not at all the model. It just resembled that model. It was in the late 70s. Probably 79, maybe 1980. It had VHF, UHF. It had SW1, 2, which I didn't know what it mean, and of course AM, FM, and all of that. It had that map at the top. I do remember there was a panel, had a map at the top, and this portion here looks like the radio I had, and so we're talking 1979, 1980. Was purchased, if I'm not mistaken, at a chain of stores in Canada called Consumer Distributing, and that radio made my day for quite a while. I still remember people telling me that you couldn't listen to aircraft on, airplanes passing by, and here we have a big airport, so and I'm in. And I lived back then, because I'm not lived very far from when I was young, in a corridor where planes are passing overhead all the time. And I could hear these planes on the radio. And people that couldn't believe we could hear planes, I would show them, and they were like all amazed that I could hear airplanes on the radio. I remember listening to the Montreal Police. They were on VHF in their 154 megahertz range back then. Things like that. Remember that I didn't know what SW1 was, but I could hear mysterious signals and, kind of radio teletype and Morse code. And I was just surprised at what exactly was that. Is so weird. Sounds so bizarre. The mystery of the unknown played a role in me getting into this, because listening to weird signals that I had no idea what they were was so mysterious that it just kept me, turning it on and listening more and more, trying to learn and trying to see what it could be. Heard the BBC World Service for the first time on this multiband, which I didn't know was the BBC. I heard, something called themselves This Is London. I thought it was, the ignorant young to-be teenager that I was like, what, London, Ontario, Canada? No, it was London, England, but I didn't know back then. I had no idea what it was. I didn't think we could hear signals from overseas on a portable radio. I had really absolutely no idea. And this is the start. This is where it all began. I still have the feel when I talk about it of, being 11, 12 years old, 13 maybe at the most. And not even, probably 11, 12. And just, I would drag this radio around to my friend's house, and we would play around with it. I remember I was that weird. At like 12 years old, I would take the radio, because they had a, portable handle, which was cool, is that, when I didn't want to have the weird stuff, we'd tune our favorite FM radio station and listen to our songs, and have it play in the backyard of my friend. I remember my friend had a like one of those water games, and when it was hot in the summer, I'd just bring my portable radio, and which was this radio, and we'd leave it on our favorite FM station to listen to the latest pop songs that we wanted to hear from our artists that we love. And so we'd listen to music, and it was part of all of this together. It was my beginning of listening to music, my beginning of learning what is all of this. And I'm pretty sure we're like in 1980-ish when that happened. And this started all, and it was mysterious, and it was something that I just loved. And that radio, I don't know what model it was, and I'd love to know what model it was, because I really would like to see it again. And I'm sure there's a picture of a radio, of that radio, somewhere on the internet. I mean, it's impossible it wouldn't be somewhere. But boy, I played with that radio until it gave out, probably from me, just not being that careful with everything. I'm still today quite rough with the stuff that I have. But back then it was probably worse. So, it just reminds me of a lot of stuff. So, like I said, this is not the radio. It's kind of a similar radio. It didn't have any buttons here like this one had. I don't think so. But I do think there were some push buttons, maybe on the side or something. Or was it here? Maybe. There were some push... Now that I'm thinking about it, there were some push buttons to change the band. There was really some push buttons. That's true. So anyways, and of course, this was at the top. And boy, did I have fun with that. Still remember going to my uncle's in Quebec City and Sherbrooke. And I would tag along the radio. That radio would never leave my sight. When we would go somewhere, I know I'd be bored. I'd just bring the radio. I wasn't bored. I'd play with the radio all evening. I believe also I've heard CHU Canada time signal for the first time on a radio like this. And we're in 1980. So it starts with that. And I'll have a few videos tonight of my first radios and some stories, if I think some of you might be interested in this. If anybody finds any radios from around 1979, 1980, and from that were sold at Consumer Distributing, and that you want to share, I'll put my email in the description. Send me the pictures. If I could find what radio it was, I'll make a video on it, because I really would like to see it again. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.